now start their engines. It's Senior Rotax final 2, and here is the starting grid. On pole position from having won the first final, Matilda Olsson will have Callum Bradshaw from Great Britain alongside on the front row. Lewis Gilbert and Lachlan Robinson, row number 2. Row 3, Alexander Abkazava and Rashid Ghanem. Row 4, Linus Henson and Sean Butcher. Row 5, Zombor Kovac and David Lackner, who round out the top 10. Then it's Mark Kimber, Felix Jansson, Daniel Kinrath, Zino Kovac, Tobias Posik, Andrej Petrovic, Benedek Vida, Flint Schuring, Ehad Turka and Yori Schoens rounding out the top 20. Completing the 31-strong grid, it's Sam Bergstein, Alexander Shai Blecker, Mette Argun, Miro Halika, Luca Köster, Jere Kokalainen, Gilles Chloé, Tim Stipitz, Christian de Klein, Chloe Canal and Nick Kuppens. So 14 minutes plus an additional lap will be set on the timer. And then the red lights will be ignited on the starting gantry. 2 more races to go after this one. It has been a very dramatic weekend here at Wackersdorf. But now it's all about going for it. Push to the limit of adhesion. Put yourself out of your comfort zone and go for broke. So the field now. Constantine is up into the tram lines. Revs rise. Are we ready? We are off and away. And Bradshaw and Olsson side by side once again. Bradshaw's got a nose ahead, but Olsson manages to get the lead going through. And Gilbert and Robinson side by side through turn 4. And tag from behind on Lewis Gilbert. But he manages to keep it planted. Robinson just behind. So they've all managed to try and get their way through. 3 abreast at some points coming out of turn 6, which is a bit hairy, as someone's run a little bit wide coming out of turn 7 and goes sideways again. That's one of the Dan Holman Racing drivers. And a little bit further back, it is still side by side, as Andrej Petrovic tries for a brazen move round the outside, and then all of a sudden he gets pounced past by Ehad Turka in the 347. But Olsson continues to lead. Bradshaw second, Gilbert, Robinson, Henson, Zombor Kovac, Alexander Abkazava, Tobias Posik, David Lackner, Rashid Ghanem, Daniel Kinrath and Sean Butcher, with Mark Kimber rounding out the top 13. 14th and 15th, it's Ehad Turka and Andrej Petrovic. But now Callum Bradshaw coming under fire from Lewis Gilbert, young Scotsman. Now concentrating a bit more on his racing, but also doing a bit of work at Potenza Racing Engines back at home base in Scotland. More drivers trying to make overtaking opportunities through into turn 11. Some are being forced a little bit wide when drivers are going up the inside. However, looks like Maurice Schuring has made some inroads in this race too. He's currently up into P16, a shade out of the points. But now the battle for second position on the road is going to be a 3-way scrap. And Olsson hasn't gotten away. Bradshaw to the inside of Olsson. Gilbert goes through and so does Robinson. And let's push it. Well, the Swede is a bit hung out to dry. She's got now Linus Henson up the inside. So now this is really on. So look at it from this perspective. Bradshaw has had 2 wins. Robinson has had a victory this season. And the 326 did nearly have 2, and he's gone up the inside. That's a 10.5 from Lachlan Robinson past Lewis Gilbert, who retaliates through turn 12. And Robinson back on the counter-attack side by side. The Scotsman runs wide onto the grass. Olsson's through, Henson's through, Zombor Kovac is through. Lachlan Robinson is really trying to wind up the wicket. He's right on the back bumper of Olsson, who's managed to make her way back into second. This is crazy. This is what it means to these drivers. This is what racing is all about. You're going to put it all on the line, and you've got to make it count. So Bradshaw has bolted away. Olsson's in second position. Robinson, followed by Henson, and there's someone going wide coming out of turn 6. And there are so many drivers that are now going to come into the fray. Look at the train from second position backwards. I count 10 carts at the very least. You could possibly make that 12 if you include the likes of Erhard Turker and Rashid Ghanem, as the 6.17 of Daniel Kenrith manages to make back a position. As it's all kicking off, Sean Butcher is having to fight for his life. He's got Mark Kimber right on his back bumper going through turn 3. Butcher goes defensive going into 4 and closes the door for Kimber. But all in front. Gilbert's now 3rd. Robinson's 4th. Zsombor Kovac up the inside of Linus Hansen in the 3.34 from Germany. Whew. Has anyone got the defibrillator on standby? Because someone apart from me might need it. 10 minutes to go. 4 minutes gone. Plus an additional lap still remaining. As we have got... Flint Schuring has had a massive moment. I'm not too sure if there was slight contact there. I've just spotted that Benedek Vida is also running a little bit slowly, going through into turn 12. But it is still game on. No one's going to give in. No one's going to give up. It's all about putting it on the line. And now Lachlan Robinson is closing in for 3rd position on Lewis Gilbert, as Linus Henson tried to go up the inside of Zsombor Kovac. But here comes Sean Butcher. Butcher round the outside. He's not going to make that one, but he nearly did. Oh my goodness, and that opened the door for the likes of Mark Kimber and Alexander Abkazava. Sean Butcher put it all on the line. He got passed by Kimber, but he shut the door firmly, as Alexander Abkazava and David Lackner are now in hot pursuit at the minute. But Lachlan Robinson battling away with Lewis Gilbert for what is P3 on the road. Olsson has gone away from the duo. And in the meantime, Zsombor Kovac is trying to chase them down. So it really has been a bit of a bare knuckle fight here at Wackersdorf in the second senior Rotax final, and it's the last one of the season. 8 races with drop scores taken into consideration will decide who will be on the championship podium and also on the weekend podium a little bit later on today. But Bradshaw now leads Matilda Olsson by 2.334 seconds. And the way things stand, it will be the case that Callum Bradshaw will end up on the top step on the benefit of winning final number 2. He's got 8 minutes to go. He's just got to be on cruise control. Olsson 2.3 seconds behind, but Lachlan Robinson is trying to keep pace with Lewis Gilbert and was just under a tenth and a half off the Scotsman on that previous lap. But Matilda Olsson sets the fastest lap. 50.191 seconds from the Swede. But the fight for 3rd, very much undecided. So you've got in there Gilbert, Robinson, Zsombor Kovac, Mark Kimber now up into 6th position ahead of Linus Henson. Sean Butcher rounds out the top 8 with David Lackner and Georgia's Alexander Abkazava rounding out the top 10. Serbia's Andrej Petrovic, Austria's Tobias Poschek, Erhard Turker, Daniel Kenrith and Rashid Ghanem rounding out the top 15 as things stand at the moment. We are halfway through this race and the pace is unrelenting and it's unforgiving, as there has been a move. Looks like Sean Butcher has made his way past Linus Henson to now take 7th position. But with the top 2 scurrying away into the distance, it's still game on for P3. 6.5 minutes to go, plus 1 additional lap. And Sean Butcher has now started pulling away from Linus Henson. The Aussie, based out of London, running under a UK licence, is now going to try in the next 6 minutes to close in on Mark Kimber. And now Kimber has got Zsombor Kovacs, Lachlan Robinson, and there's the move from Kimber up the inside, forces Kovacs to take avoiding action, and that's allowed Sean Butcher to close in on them. And so that's allowed, at the moment, Gilbert and Robinson to escape, but I would think probably not for long. Mark Kimber has been running in the 50.1s, Robinson in the 50.2s, as has Lewis Gilbert. We have unfortunately had 3 retirements. Zino Kovac out, Gilles Chloé and Hungary's Benedek Vida on lap 1, lap 3 and lap 5 respectively. They are out of the race. And now it is all about keeping it consistent, eyeing every apex, braking when you need to, powering out at the right point of the circuit so you don't spool up the rear tyres and cause yourself to go sideways. There's no assistance, no power steering, no anti-lock brakes, no traction control, just pure unadulterated racing. And this is what the drivers thrive on. The pressure, the challenge, the opportunities that may come their way during the course of a fast, frantic paced race like this. So 2 drivers, Flint Schuring and the 615 Mehmet Argun, have got 5-second time penalties for causing a collision, and also the 318 has got a 5-second time penalty for pushing. But as the cloud cover slightly envelops part of the circuit with the sunshine trying to break through the clouds, we have 4 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Tobias Poschek has dropped out of the top 14 and ends up 15th behind the likes of Erhard Turker, Daniel Kenrath and Rashid Ghanem. David Lackner has dropped behind Alexander Abkazava and Serbia's Andrej Petrovic, who now complete the top 10. Top 15 will score points. And at the moment, Callum Bradshaw's lead is now 1.831 seconds because Matilda Olsson has been putting in the hot laps like it's a qualifying session, an elongated one thereof. A 49.848 from the Swede. Bradshaw a 49.859. Gilbert and Robinson on the border of breaking into the high 49-second bracket. No change so far this lap from the top 19, but Luca Köster, who's had a few technical dramas, the German from Kraft Motorsport in the 362, now jumps ahead of Felix Jansson from Sweden and goes into 20th position. And now I've seen that Robinson and Kimber have both gone, well, it's Kimber and Kovac that have gone into the 49s. Robinson a fraction outside of the high 49s himself, but puts in a personal best, and it's 2.5 tenths behind Lewis Gilbert as they come out of the final corner. Robinson knows he'll be keeping an eye on that timer, and he'll know when he will be able to push. But it looks like the slipstream working in his favour. Closes up through into turn 4, but the Emirati does not get past. Decides better of it. He's going to wait for when the full opportunity presents itself, and it's not quite yet. Through 7. It's close between the pair, but they are line astern going through the turn 9-10 chicane. And oh no! Gilbert went defensive. Robinson went to the outside and got slightly caught out there. Here comes Sean Butcher ahead of Zsombor Kovacs. So Robinson now drops behind Mark Kimber. the race has really changed on another chapter. And now Kimber is going to gun for third place. But, and there was a little bit of a touch on the curbs, courtesy of Lewis Gilbert on the front left through 5, but he managed to keep it held together, and now it's a 4-way scrap for P3. So you've got Gilbert, Kimber, Robinson, and now Butcher. So P3 up for grabs as Kimber goes defensive on Robinson. Butcher swings to the outside to get the run of momentum going through into turn number 12, and Kimber now has, Butcher's made it 3 wide coming out of turn 12. Kimber to the left, Butcher to the right, and Robinson drops Robinson drops another position, but he's now in the toe of Butcher. Those two are teammates. They will hopefully try and get one up on Mark Kimber if they can, as they both jink to the left-hand side going through turn 3. But Kimber goes defensive, he looks to the right, blocks Butcher, and Robinson now slots in behind. It's just about strategy between Robinson and Butcher there. But they are line astern. Timer is about, and they've just given a warning flag, black and white warning flag to Mark Kimber. So timer has expired. Callum Bradshaw about to go on to the final lap as now Robinson gets past Butcher, who had Kimber in front. And now Robinson trying to wrestle his way. Linus Henson in the mix, and now here comes Andrej Petrovic from Serbia. Final lap, borders out. Henson up the inside of Butcher, tangles and touches the right rear of Butcher as Robinson in the toe of Kimber going on to the final lap for P3. Now it's on. The gloves are truly off. And that's for 4th place on the road, as Butcher's now been passed by Linus Henson. But now we turn our attention. I'm going to keep my eyes on what's happening behind the likes of Callum Bradshaw, Matilda Olsson, Lewis Gilbert, because it's the battle for 4th place. Kimber goes defensive on Robinson, who sweeps round and gets a good run on Kimber through out of turn number 11. But it's going to be Callum Bradshaw, confirmed as the 2021 champion. The returning Matilda Olsson takes 2nd. Lewis Gilbert comes back in style, finishes in the top 3. Robinson's going to try and outdrag Kimber, but it's going to be close. Oh my goodness. 66 thousandths separated Mark Kimber and Lachlan Robinson over the line. Kimber taking 4th, Robinson 5th. Andrej Petrovic takes 6th ahead of Linus Henson. Sean Butcher, David Lackner, Daniel Kinrath running out the top 10 with Alexander Abkazava, Ehad Turka, Zombar Kovac, Rashid Ghanem and Miro Halika completing the top 15. Rounding out the order, it's Tobias Poschik, Christian de Klein, Sam Bergstein, Nick Kuppens, Luca Köster, Felix Jansson, Mette Argun, Alexander Scheiblecker, Tim Stipitz, Johi Schoens, Chloe Canal, Jericho Kalainen and Flint Schuring rounding out the 28 that finished, with Benedek Vida, Gilles Chloé and Zino Kovac rounding out the 3 that unfortunately did not finish. But Callum Bradshaw confirmed as your 2021 Senior Rotax champion here in Wackersdorf.